Back to business, back at the top of the Premier League and 7 points clear. Arsenal 3, West Ham 1. Let's get into it and welcome back, of course, to the Arsenal Show. Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to the Arsenal Show. I hope you've all had a Merry Christmas, people. The day after Boxing Day, still a bank holiday here in the UK, as Christmas Day fell on a Sunday and Boxing Day on the Monday, so that bank holiday carries over into today. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the mighty Arsenal. And if you're listening, guess who I've got in here? You know who it is. It's the Arsenal Show. We've got the Don himself, the Don of South London, who ran Christmas there, the Black Santa himself.
What's going on, my little brother? What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Wilf, man?
It's been a long time since I've had this good a Christmas. You know what I mean? Football-wise, it's just rocking and rolling. I'm loving it.
Exactly. We'll get right into it. And you know what? Before we do, let's just big up each and every one of you that's watching live, and big up to yourself. If you're watching this afterwards, make sure you do like and subscribe here at Tereak Talks. We do Arsenal content. We do a lot of that, but we also have Premier League content as well, where we talk about a lot of other things. So make sure you do and do all of that. You know,
we're not talking about the bottom of the league, man. Anything below us, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Not worrying about that.
Today. We don't need that. Big win.
And just to let Ed know, 2.5 hours is minimum. Yeah, 2.5. If you look at the comments, 2.5 hours is minimum. So buckle up. It's going to be a long ride.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep it a bit shorter today because it is just me and Will for the moment. But you know how it goes. I say try and keep it a bit shorter, but you know how it is. But big up Ed in the place right now, and this is what Wilf is referring to. It says, I will bet early that this stream will be about 2.5 hours long, and it will be wrapping up for about 60. You know what? The equivalent, and I know Wilf will be able to back me up on this, and Ed will too. Guys, Have you ever been to a black person's house? You go around, brethren, family, and then you're about to leave. What happens? You say, oh, yeah, I got to go now. Do you say, oh, yeah, got to go. See you later. Ta-ra, bit bye. No.
You
chat about for another half an hour to 60 minutes.
You warn people that you're going to leave in about an hour.
Yes.
Minimum. In about an hour.
You have to say now. You have to say, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, now.
An hour later.
And even then, you mean you're gone without saying hello? Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, Ed, people in glass houses. That's all I'm saying. People in glass houses, all right?
It's true, bro. We do a long one as well, bro. Did we do a 2-hour stream the other day?
I know.
There you go. Big up my brother Brosh in here as well with the popcorn emoji. Ed, this one will still be going after the United game. Those World Cup stoppage times. Big up yourself, Shay, as well. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Who added me on Twitter with his signed Arsenal ball, which you got for Christmas. Hey,
nice.
You have to let us know, me and Wilf, any names on there. If there's anyone, pre-80s, Wilf will be able to provide you a bit more context on that.
Yeah.
Hey, and big up yourself, Shay. Big up Bobby K from the other side.
No, you got to say hello to a spud, man. This is wrong.
Exactly. Nah, but he's
I know, he's a good fella. Big up, Bobby.
Big up yourself, Josh, as well, Newcastle.
Josh. Yeah, they're coming. Yeah, we're looking in the rearview mirror at Newcastle, man. They're coming up fast on the outside.
Hey, Josh, I remember when you first came into this channel, Newcastle had Steve Bruce. You were sitting bottom of the league and no wins in November. Hey, how life changes, how life has turned.
I'm seeing a theme. I'm noticing a theme because the two teams at the top of the league not so long ago was in the bottom. Every banter, exactly. You know what I mean? I have to say, I've got a lot of teammates, and I've always had a soft spot for the team, and I wouldn't have anybody else chasing us rather than them.
Exactly, serious fans, proper fans there as well, and good people up north. And big up yourself, Josh. Hope you had a Merry Christmas as well. We got Ferbs in here. Hope you're
easy, Ferbs.
He says, hey, didn't Arsenal play yesterday? Get off my team's watch along. But he's now just joking. All love and blessings. Now, big up yourself as well, Ferbs, man. And come on, Forest. You know, or you know it says.
Yeah, believe.
you best believe. Exactly, indeed. And it's okay, Josh, man. No worries. And I understand how life gets, bro. So definitely, it does get like that. But you know what? I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're keeping well, and I'm glad that you're stopping by as well. And you know what? I can't wait to talk to you about the Arsenal-Newcastle game on the 3rd of January.
Ooh, that's going to be tasty, man.
That is.
I'm looking forward to that.
But what we got to talk about right now is Arsenal 3, West Ham 1. Indeed. Wow. Will,
can you say that score again? Can you say that score again one more time?
3, West Ham 1. Yeah, that little one. We'll talk about that. But before we get into the game and the actual match itself, and I want to talk about the things surrounding it, because Will, you were sending me some videos in our group chat, and I was sending you some and sharing them on Twitter as well, and you may have seen it there if you follow me on Twitter. But man, the atmosphere leading up to this game, this is a completely different Arsenal to what I've seen, and I want to hear your thoughts, because as I've said, and I always point out in every show, you're a little bit older than me. A little bit. Even though black don't crack, so I have to emphasize that. People won't be able to see it all day. So yeah. So with that being the case, talk to me. Is this a completely different Arsenal to what you've seen previously, or are we going back to like our old ways? Talk to me about how you feel.
I quite a few people have said this. I've seen on a few YouTubes, people have said stuff about comparing this side to previous sides. I've said it here before, this Arsenal team gives me the same vibes as the Untouchables, the Invincibles. And a lot of people kind of throw shade on that and go, they're not this, that, and the other, they're not nowhere near and whatever. But before the Invincibles were the Invincibles, they had to start somewhere. And you saw this developing from when Bergkamp came, and then Vieira and Henry and Elka and all them men started to come. You started to see the momentum. You started to see the avalanche progress and build. And I'm seeing it with this side. I've actually seen it since the pre-season games. And it's not so much the results, but it was the performances. And this is coming out now. And I am seeing the same fear in other teams, in other fans, in people chucking shade on us, the same way as I did in the 90s, in the mid-90s there. I think Arteta's special. I think Edu's special. I even think Josh is. And I definitely know that this team is. And if you weren't around for them days, you won't know. And people saying, you can't compare them. But we've always done that. You've always compared teams to other teams when they're coming through. Like the class of 92 with Sir Alex and them lot. They were compared to Busby Babes. Now people compare certain teams to that one. They started somewhere. They didn't just come out and land as the Invincibles or those Man United sides. They built. And this is, if you've seen it before, you recognise it, and I'm recognising it here.
And what's your thoughts on the atmosphere surrounding, from the Arsenal fans? What you like with the Ashburton Army? We went to the Arsenal Leicester game. That was the first time I've ever experienced atmosphere like that. And I don't know if you've seen the videos of where they're in the tunnel with the flares going off. North London.
I mean, I haven't seen it that. I've seen it that frantic for a long time. I mean, the last time I saw it under Graham. Especially when we beat Liverpool that time. That was nuts. And I was in 2002 when they did the double. Was it 2002? No, it was the 96-97 when Wenger's first double. I was up Highbury Way. I managed to stay at a friend's house, and I watched the open top bus go past, and that was sick, insane. gives me chills now, and I'm getting those chills now. And the Ashburton Army, I love them. I love them because they've just come out of nowhere and gone, you know what, this is us. This is Arsenal. We're the new breed, and we're going to take it to the level that it used to be at, and then see if we can raise the bar. Yeah. The atmosphere away and at home has been insane. I haven't seen this for decades, literally decades. Yeah. Big up Realist in the chat, by the way.
Hey, big up each and every one of you as well. Realist in here saying happy holidays. Big up to yourself, my brother. Hope you're keeping good. And he wants us to start losing because he's had enough. He has.
I know.
And he's talking about you there. We'll get into this about 17 goals for and that. But yeah, I think he did. He did caveat it saying barring injury, and of course he's picked up a bit of injury. But big up yourself as well, Matt G saying T and Wilf.
Matt G.
Nice to see you in the chat. Hope you're keeping good, Matt G. Hope you had a Merry Christmas as well. And Josh saying here, I've always been trust the process. Thought it was going to take long, but obviously worked. And yeah, so for some, it's taken longer for us to get into this position. And I think, there was a lot more rot deep down beyond. And just when we're talking about the atmosphere, from the away crowd, I've always loved our away fans. And when I go to Arsenal games that I played locally, so let's say Wolverhampton, when I go to that one, or West Brom or Villa or anything like that, I've always seen the fans and I'm like, wow, these away fans, they're serious, constantly singing. And I'm sure a lot of clubs can say that, but it feels special when you're watching your own. But when going to the Emirates and seeing anything like that, and even just watching it from the TV, there's been a lot more empty seats, a lot more moans and groans, and there's more anxiety. Whereas even if you saw yesterday, 1-0 down, straight away, we witnessed this with Saliba's own goal against Leicester. Yeah. The whole stadium clapping, come on, siege, man.
It's almost louder than after we score.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the fans they know that we feel valued now. Whereas we never felt that way. We just felt like it was a commodity, or it was just someone to pay in their way, and we weren't trusted. We never had any connection. And these things sound, and if you're watching it and you're not an Arsenal fan, you're like, this emotional talk, talk from the heart. No, this is genuine. This is why we love football, because the emotions that it makes us feel. Like even when we get angry about a refereeing decision, that spurs our players, and that having, and also I think those decisions where the penalty was given, well, I'll ask your thoughts whether you thought it was a penalty or not, and then the one where the handball and then it was overturned. Whatever the decision is, it's always going to get the fans going, oh no, unjust,
100%.
And we're having the right reactions now, don't you feel?
Yeah, and I think that's testament to what Arteta and Edu and Josh have done, because they brought in players that care now. Yeah, because we had a lot of players there taking wages and may have cared about the football, but didn't care about the club. This group of players care about the club, and I'm sure Arteta invited Zinni and Jesus down when they've been injured, but seeing the Jesus there on the sideline with that face of stone, serious, like they're in this together. They're that is something I haven't seen since the Invincibles, when they're just tight. It's them against the world. It's all Arsenal against the world. You bring on whoever you want, and that connection, that us against the world, hasn't been there for ages. But I was thinking, because someone asked me there, I might have been in one of our chats or something, asked me, who's your favourite player? I don't really have a favourite player because I love all of them. For different reasons, I love all of them.
Whereas before, it would have been easy to pick your favourite player. There's only a couple that want to die for the badge, but carry on, bro.
Yeah, and not just that, but there was players that certain people didn't like. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, they didn't like them or they didn't feel connected with them. Each and every one of them, even Cedric. You know what I mean? I know we give him stick, but when I heard that he might be going to Fulham, it was a slight pang in me. You know what? All right, the brother ain't the best player. yeah, and he's far from the first team, but he gives off this vibe that he's part of the crew. And if they said to him, "Can you run through that wall while we're running through this one?" he will do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I hear that.
And that whole vibe, that whole feeling is permeating throughout the club.
Yeah,
from top to bottom, and I literally mean from top to bottom, from Josh all the way down to the cleaning ladies.
And do you know what? That's a good point you bring up. And I don't mean to pick on this player because I don't have any agenda. Because when you talk about players that care and you have that connection with and you love, and you don't really have that division in terms of their motivation and how they feel about the club. Mesut Ozil, that's the one that comes to mind. Absolutely magician, one of the best footballers technically I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But what we knew with him and why there was so much division and why he caused that is because when he was injured, he was nowhere to be seen in the stadium. Yeah, he's cheering on the boys on Twitter, or I feel like he cheers on the boys now more. At the club on Twitter, loving, bigging up Saka, etc. Rather than when he was here, because there was so much division and that's with our key players. That's our highest paid player. And then right now, our highest paid player is Gabriel Jesus, whose knee he's in rehab now. Started that today.
Yeah.
Or mash up. He should be at home resting. You can have that. You rest up. Let's get you back there. Work on yourself. He's there standing on the sideline.
He's the closest one to the pitch other than Arteta.
Exactly. And then when you remember the Fulham game when Zinchenko was there injured, and he's there barking out orders. Yeah. And this is
running up touchline with his bus leg when he shouldn't have been to celebrate.
4-time Premier League winners where they're at the age of 26 and you're like, 25, 26 winning the Premier League 4 times. Brother, I've been born, I'm 24 and I've only seen us, I've seen us lift the Premier League twice in my lifetime. Well, not live.
Yeah. I get you.
They love the club and they really feel a part of it. And I think that's a brilliant point you've raised.
I think Arteta he's set them free. Yeah. Especially them two, man. Yeah. I'm not obviously at Man City, it's a different setup and they love it, and it's a big, lovely golden chariot. Yeah. But the freedom that this team has, they're loving it. It's again, it's Wenger-esque, and it was so apt and telling and ironic that he was there when we come back from the World Cup. Wenger was in the stand. It just so pleased my heart. Freedom to express yourself, and that's what them boys are going out and there and doing, and they're loving it and they're fighting, and you know what I mean. Don't touch one of us because you're going to get all of us on you. Exactly. It's just this is what I'm saying to you, and I remember I'll go back to when the video that I saw when Zinchenko joined the club, when he actually because he'd signed and everything, and he was over in the States with Man City, and he came while they were at the hotel, and the vibe when he walked in that he got from the new guys that I'd never met him before, and him, Arteta and Jesus, that's when it started. That's for me. I could see they was like, we're ready now. Let's go do this.
Exactly. There you go. And just before we get into the actual game in itself, guys, I'm just going to run through some of your comments and see what you all have been saying. Big up and appreciate all of you that's locked and loaded in here. If you can share this channel and these videos, if you're a fellow Arsenal fan, share it in some Discord, some groups, or just to a friend or a family member, trying to get to 600 subs by 2023. And you guys have made it and brought us here so far. So thank you so much for your support. And then let's see what you're saying. Big up my brother Brad in the place.
Brad
saying big up you guys and the team. Can't believe how good this team is. Exactly. You best believe, because it just keeps getting better and better. And before Wilf, I might be poking the bear at this, but they said we were gonna fall off and everything. And I know it's one game, but that if we play like that, how we did, especially in the second half, hey, we'll be just fine.
Go through the comments, and then I'm gonna have my rant before we go.
I've got a specific moment when we can talk about that, so I'll let you. I'll let you know.
You're right. Okay.
We got Matt G saying, I trust Arteta. Some people think we might overpay for Mudryk. If Arteta thinks he will fit the system, let's bring him in. Big up yourself, Matt D. I agree with that, and we'll go into more depth on that towards the end. On Mudryk, Newcastle get the takeover, Arsenal get better. You should wish we did that more often. Exactly that. Exactly. And it kind of feels like we've had a takeover of late as well.
But again, there's you mentioned the similarity of the mess that the clubs were in when they were taken over and how quickly it's happened. You know what I mean? Because for Newcastle, the progression has been exponential, and they've done it in such the right way. You know what I mean? Yeah, money. We've done all where the money's coming from, but at the end of the day, they seem to be doing it right and doing it right respectfully for that club and for their fans.
Exactly that there. Exactly. Big up yourself, Mr. 200. Hope you're having a good evening too. Hope you had a great evening watching the mighty Arsenal. And had a wonderful Christmas as well with time with the family. And big up T-Dog for me.
Yes, Mr. 200. Have you fixed those dark circles around their eyes, by the way?
Big up yourself, Moss. Hope you're keeping good. Hope you had a Merry Christmas as well, my
Muster, bro.
Exactly. And Shay's in here. You are 9. Actually, he's changed it. You are 8 subscribers away to 600.
Wow.
Shay.
Big up, T.
I know. Come on. Let's go. We're getting
Big
here.
up, T.
Big up, man. Big up yourself as well, Wilf, man. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the start of the game and talk about the first half because, you know what? This is probably, a little bit of negative. No, we're not going to be totally negative talking about this, but this is probably where it's a little bit negative and stuff in certain aspects for me. But before I go into my bits and bobs, what was your thoughts on the first half? And I want to hear in particular, do you think it was a penalty?
Yeah, it was a penalty. It definitely was a penalty. If I was a striker and man took me out like that, I'd be going down because it's the speed that he was, and it doesn't take much of a clip when you're going at speed to take you down. It was clear, stonewall penalty. You know what I mean? I hate saying that because it's against us. I thought Saliba could have pulled out, and with experience in future he would, because he knew he weren't getting it. Because if you watch it again, he knows when he's gone to ground and he slided through. He's that you thing of maybe I can still get there. In future he'd pull out because he could see the covering player, which I think was Ben White coming across, and if he Bowen wouldn't have made anything out of that because Ramsdale was coming out and he was getting closed down. It was a pen. Other than that, I thought we dominated that and we set out. I was surprised how quickly we got into our stride from the end of last season. I thought it would have taken more time. I thought it would have been a little bit more cagey. But that first half, for the first 15 minutes, it was like something like 79 to 11 or 12, 78 possession in our. West Ham couldn't get out of their box. I saw a couple of people blame Gabriel for that goal, but Gabriel has come and he's won that header. The header before, he's won that clean. Yeah, so you can't blame him for nothing like that. And then they pump the ball into the space that he's vacated. Again, Saliba, he's learning, and he's going to make these mistakes, but he's making them in games that don't matter. And the thing I love about him the most is his recovery from an error. And it's hard push to put and say it's an error because as a defender, you got to make them tackles. You do these things, and goalkeepers and defenders, if they make a mistake or an error, it 9 times out of 10 it leads to a goal. So I'm not going to be hard on him. But that said, again, another huge factor is the recovery. We didn't panic. Everybody just went, all right, yeah, you want to go like that? All right, come, make we go. We carried on with the same way we were playing. We went, we know that we're going to score goals. You scored 1. If you can score 2, 3 or more, fair play, you'll win this game. But we know we're scoring goals and we're going to batter you now. If anything, it kind of made them vex and go, Nah, sir. And the experience of last season, the growth of this team has showed you right. We don't panic in these situations. We have what it takes to win this game. It's no different to when we started the game. We know that we got this. And they went after it systematically. And fair play to West Ham. You know what I mean? Everybody says, oh, they're a terrible team and they're down. And they haven't been playing that badly. They defended like lions, I have to give them. Because man was heading things out, and it was, you know, it wasn't for the lack of the last ball, but they were pressed so deep into their 18-yard box. At one point, I saw Gabriel just on the edge of the 18-yard box. We go to a back three, and Partey's in there, and Gabriel's on one side, and Saliba's wide on the other, and Partey's in there. And for the most part, we had 10 men in there half of the pitch, so it never worried me. And there was a pang when your team goes down. You go, no, didn't want that, and I'm really annoyed because I had 3-1 and I changed it to 3-0 in the predictions. But there's no we ain't winning this. There's no attitude of we ain't winning this, and that's what I saw in that team.
Yeah, I totally hear that, bro. Totally. And just my thoughts on the penalty. I also thought it was a pen, too, because, he did catch him, and it's only a slight bit of contact. And there was some other angles that made it look like, there's not enough contact, or some angles maybe deceived you, and it didn't even look like there was any. But the fact, when you're running at speed, and even if you're just running at half speed, really, when you're attacking with momentum, any slight bit of contact can knock you off of your stride. And and he's kind of, and as Ed said here, I did think Bowens did do well to try and stay on his feet for as long as he could, and didn't just completely throw himself to the ground. And I respect that he has made that decision.
Do you remember when you were in school and you used to walk down the thing and your brethren would clip the back of your foot?
Yeah.
Remember? Right.
Yeah, and that can do it. Like, that was similar. That was like the Di Maria penalty in the World Cup.
Yeah, but you're walking, and man can do that to you.
Exactly, and that's where I'm thinking. I'm like, if that's the other way around, as I think it was, Mr. 200 said here, it's a Stonewall penalty if it's Saka. But I hear why people saying it's soft, because it's not a lot of contact. It's not a complete trip. But for me, that's a penalty, and that's what. I respect the referee for making that decision. I thought the two big decisions that he made in the first half were ultimately correct in the end. He made the error with the handball, which looked like a handball at the time, hit his head.
And I hate that ref. But he actually for the first time I've seen him, he had a good game.
Yeah, he made the correct decisions, I thought. In the big moments. But Mr. 200 says in terms of the penalty, that Saka, thought that the pen was soft. If that was Saka, 100%, commentators would have said no pen for me, went down to.
I don't really buy into this soft, hard pens. I mean, I've seen soft pens where it's a little nudge and the brother goes down and they give him, but certain pens that it doesn't take. You said it, you both said it before. At certain speed, it doesn't take a lot to make someone go down. And if it's a pen outside the box, if it's a foul outside the box, it's a Stonewall pen inside.
Yeah, exactly that there. I thought that was a soft pen, but I was more worried about that we got a red card. Can't have Gabriel or Saliba banned. Yeah, I think what saved him here, there's two things, Matt G. He, if you were last man, and he wasn't, I think Tierney or someone came round on the cover.
I think it was Ben White.
Yeah, I think someone came round on the cover, and that saved him. But also the fact that he was going for the ball, even if he was last man, the double jeopardy rules out now.
Yeah,
it's a penalty and you're last man. But if you have intentions to go for the ball, it will only be a yellow card at the worst.
The one in the World Cup, the one on Argentina's penalty. No, not Argentina's. The one on Saka. No, not Saka. Our second penalty in the World Cup.
Oh, Mason Mount and Theo Hernandez.
Mason Mount.
Yeah.
That should have been a red card because he was not looking at the ball. He had no intention of going for the ball, and he went through the back of him straight away. Yeah. That should have been a red card.
Yeah, well, there you go. Though I think the reason why it wasn't is because Mason Mount didn't have the ball under control at the point. So yeah, that's the reason
Right.
why.
Okay.
That's the rule. If Mason Mount chests it and then it happens, then it's a red card because he's
Right.
not going for
Okay.
the
Fair
ball.
enough.
So yeah, so
Fair
that
enough.
because the ball was still in the air. That's the only thing. The only reason why they don't. Even if it looks obvious that it's going to land to you and land on the foot, until you control the ball.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the reason. Let's see what else she's saying in here. But yeah, just what I wanted to say throughout the first half as well. My worry, and this was my worry, and it changed in the second half, was that left side, our left side, and West Ham's right. West Ham didn't come to play football, as Will said there. There was only one team that was looking to play football, dominating. West Ham tried to hit us on the counter.
Are you talking about Martinelli's side?
No, yeah, defensively, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
defensively, when Gabriel was there and when Tierney was there, then when either Xhaka would be just in front, but I won't class Xhaka in here because it was mainly to do with the long balls. We was losing a lot of them. West Ham had a ploy, and this is where I give credit to West Ham, and it's more of credit to West Ham than it is for criticism against us.
Yeah.
Souček peeling out there with Antonio and Bowen, the flick-ons, the second balls, and Bowen making a run in behind. That was their biggest danger. And that was from quite at the start. I was like, ooh, because we know Gabriel, aggressive front foot defender, always goes to try and attack the ball. Even if he wins the first header, but they get the second ball, there's a whole gap there. Left.
And you saw that for the goal, and you saw it just before the goal. Bowen was having joy down there.
That's it. And that's where our issues came. And that's where I thought, West Ham, they sensed a weakness. And I'll get into Kieran Tierney when I talk about him as well. And I'll hear your thoughts on that. And guys in the chat, I want to hear your thoughts on Kieran Tierney too. But yeah, in that first half, Saliba, I think it was clear and obvious that the boy has had barely any training sessions and he's lacking match sharpness. Second half, improved massively. But in the first half, it's kind of, I remember watching Tomiyasu against Liverpool last year in the Carabao Cup, and Jota roasted him in that first half of the Emirates, and you could see that Tomiyasu didn't train at all. And he was just called straight in because we had a lack of numbers at that point because we still had AFCON going on about injuries and whatnot. And I could see that with Saliba, but I'm not going to criticize the man for it because the fact that
but he did. There's no criticism there. I mean, he played what, half an hour in the World Cup,
if that, even if
exactly.
If that,
you know what I mean. So when you're not match fit, It's you can train as much as you want every day, hard as anything, but until you're actually physically in game and that adrenaline starts flowing, and you don't know the opposition's game plan.
It's all about sharpness, bro. That's what it is, because those minor percentages that we think that we as fans, where you're like, oh, we've just missed it. The hesitation for the penalty, he doesn't do that if he's in game rhythm. Guys, even when you played at a lower level, when you've not played football in a while and your first touch is looking a little bit rusty and you're playing it and your touch is too long and you're having to stretch for the ball.
Some of us.
You see, not Wilf. He's a gunman straight. Bang, shooting goal. So give me super sub right there. That happens, and I felt that was the case, and he improved much better in the second half. But in the first,
you know the example of that what you just said. When have you ever seen? How rare do you see Saliba go to ground?
Yeah, exactly.
And that was indication that he's not.
Exactly, he's not his sharpest, and he's not in the right position and in those senses. And as a defender, if you do go to ground, most likely he's because you're not in the right position in it. So, much improved in the second half. You could see when he was dribbling, when he was under pressure and stuff, winning free kicks and whatnot. But another thing I'll say in the first half, and once again, it's more credit to West Ham rather than the criticism for Arsenal, was they made it so tight and compact in between that midfield and defence. I nearly tweeted this out, but then I think the penalty thing came and I forgot to tweet it out. But Craig Dawson, every ball that was getting bang, heading away, smashing away, and you can
near post, middle of the goal, far post,
blocks, everything. He's not the best. He's not a world-class defender, but at that, he's tremendous. He's one of the best in the league in the air, and that's why he scores so many goals as well in the opposition's box. He's brilliant. I thought he was a monster in the first half, in particular.
And don't underestimate David Moyes' experience, because David Moyes came with a game plan. He's not going to come up here and go, all right, lads, just go out there and see what happens versus Arsenal. He came with a game plan. He studied us. He'd worked us out. Game plan. Yeah. And I'll tell you what we'll get to the reason why that game plan didn't work as well or wasn't as effective against this particular Arsenal team. But we'll get there.
You can get there right now, actually. In fact, I want to hear your thoughts on the second half, because I thought there was a change. I think there was a slight tactical tweak from their goal, and that's when we started to get more joy and create more chances and get in between the lines. But what was you most impressed with structurally about the Arsenal team? And then we'll get into individuals.
Structurally was how absolutely going for the throat, front-footed we were. Because at one point, I was seeing we had 2 man back. Yeah, it was either Partey or Gabriel or Partey and Saliba. And the biggest factor for me, right, throughout this game, first and second half, was my man, Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, this is what I was going to say to you about the game plan, because, and I said this to you in the chat and a few things, teams are set up to play against us with Jesus as our pivotal. Eddie is suddenly an unknown factor because you don't know how he's playing. Yeah, he's a goal poacher and everything else, and everybody has been watching us. All the games that they can go back and watch and go, Arsenal do this and Arsenal do that and all the rest of it. Eddie isn't in that. You know what I mean? Eddie, sharp Eddie, he was on fire and sharp yesterday.
Definitely.
It suddenly gives us a totally different dimension. And with everybody saying, we're going to miss Jesus, we're going to miss. No, we go to plan B, and plan B was always going to be Eddie. And Eddie in that first team does what a goal scorer does. He scores goals. 11 starts, 11 goals at home. Yeah, and at home, he's playing with the first team. He's playing with quality around him. He's playing with players that can deliver him the ball where he needs it and when he needs it and how he needs it. Yeah, he was roasting, man. He was twisting, turning, man, all that first half. Yeah, Ali McCoy was
bigging him up,
purring. Yeah, almost cheated on his missus the way he was going on about Eddie. Yeah, they couldn't live with him, man. Which way is he going to go? Which way is he going to go? And when it comes to Eddie, you know my feelings on Eddie, and I've been a fan of his for a very, very, very long time now, from before he made the Arsenal squad, and it put some respect on this brother's name. Yeah, because other teams fear him, other teams want him, other teams know what he's got. You don't give a man $100,000 contract a week if you don't see anything in him, if you don't see he's capable, and forget potential, what he's capable of doing now. Yeah, if that was the case, I'd go up to Arsenal and get $100,000 contract a week.
There you go. And you know what? I want to, and just whilst we're talking on Eddie Nketiah, I actually don't think there's much that's changed structurally with Eddie in the side. I think the qualities that Jesus possess and Eddie is different. Not all of them though, because I do think Eddie, pressing wise, he's brilliant. He's probably just as good. As look how many times he's putting Fabianski under pressure, and I was hearing a lot of people saying, "Oh, you know what we're going to miss Jesus for is not just what his impact is when he's on the ball.
No
press." I'm like, hold on. Have you watched Eddie Nketiah's goals? Most of his Premier League goals have come
from
pressing the
keepers in the 6-yard box. Yeah, exactly. The Liverpool game during lockdown. I think it was Southampton or Leeds.
Yeah. Even Chelsea just pressing the defenders when we get away from home at Stamford Bridge. I'm like, Eddie, he's a monster at pressing. He works
making them shook.
Exactly. And this is it.
Look, Man United scored.
Oh, I know. I'm just seeing that. I pop up on here. Ugh. But anyways, we don't need to worry about their top 4 places
Nah.
there. You know what I mean?
Nah.
That's nearly
Nah.
we're past that now.
I feel them business. I feel them business.
But yeah, now back to so yeah, with Eddie Nketiah and most because we're talking about him. Can I just say the brother in 2022, his whole footballing ability has risen, right? And his hold up play, the little turns around the corner, how he uses his body. Will,
Yes.
one thing that I think a lot of Arsenal fans were getting frustrated about when Eddie Nketiah was coming off the bench was I don't think I don't think he had the understanding of how to use his body as well as he does now. How he does now in protecting the ball, winning free kicks, and he's got he does have technical ability. You can't say that. You can never say because if you're at, there's a reason why you're at Arsenal playing for England under 21s, etc. Like you're one of the best technically in the country, but he's always been a goal scorer. This is why you've loved him, right? Because you say talk to me, Ian Wright.
Right. The brother is a South London striker. I'm sorry, if you look, because I've heard people say, "Oh, he's like righty and whatever." That's how South London strikers play. You know what I mean? Keeper looks, got the ball at his feet. No, sir, you ain't playing like that. We press, we're on it, we're hounding, we're doing because we want goals. We want goals. The turns that he does when you want to twist up a man, that's how you do it. I've watched the thing on Netflix about South London ballers. Yeah, it's all about twisting up your man, getting past him. Sancho does it. You know what I mean? All them kind of things. So that turn is all and just scoring goals like that. It's South London. I've seen so many strikers that with that same style. Yeah. And this is why people see the similarity between him and Wrighty. They come from the same ends, learning to play the same way, grow up in the same teams, playing against the same teams, and that's what you get from a South London striker. You're going to get goals. Yeah, if you're a South London striker, all you want to do is get the ball in the back of the net, and he does that, and he's done that. Look at his record; he's done that at every level that he's been at. From he's been youth. He holds the under 21 record, goal scoring record. And who did he get that from? Alan Shearer. Yeah. When you're on that kind of progression, please come on, tell me. And strikers develop late.
Yeah, exactly that. And we've seen plenty of. I mean, you just mentioned Ian Wright there, a late developer. Drogba came into professional football quite late. Jesus. I don't know. Jesus was special, whether when he was at Palmeiras.
I know, but look what he is now. Look at what he is now.
I see where you're coming from. Jesus was very good though when he first came in at Man City.
It doesn't matter what. What I'm saying to you is, it doesn't matter what level you're at. But when you actually develop and start kicking in, it's not 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
But yeah, the thing is, with Eddie Nketiah though, like he's been trusted and he's been given a lot of minutes now. And when we've seen him have a run of games, he has played a good standard in my eyes. And I think this is where we need to trust as fans. I'm hearing this is Matt G, as he said, talking about trusting Arteta in return for Mudryk. Arteta speaks about this guy's character. He knows Eddie Nketiah more than we do. Right, more than any of us know about the man's personality. We can only see his personality on the pitch. The training pitch is where footballers spend most of their time, guys. And he has always praised Eddie Nketiah from when he wasn't playing, from when he was third choice striker behind Lacazette and Aubameyang, was that this guy worked so hard. And I'm the problem. I'm the issue why I didn't trust him more. It's my fault. And guys, how many times do we talk about professional footballers when it's about their mentality? It's not even about the ball at their feet. That's not what separates them, what they can do with the ball at their feet. It's about what's in between your two ears. Do you listen? Do you learn? Do you develop?
Take on board.
And that's where he's received a lot of praise. And people, this is where I'm going on a little bit of a rant. I remember, right? I was saying last season, bearing in mind, like the start of last season, Eddie Nketiah, he's not a bad footballer. Like, and people, Crystal Palace, man, saying, I wouldn't want Eddie. Oh, no, I don't. What are you talking to? You got Christian Benteke, yeah? And you know what, Eddie Nketiah? Big up Ed, right? Because Ed deserves a lot of praise for this. I remember Ed saying, well, Raul Jimenez and that was there. I'll take Eddie Nketiah. He's a good striker.
Right.
He knows where the ball is in the back of the net. Yeah, he might. He's not Jesus. Jesus is one of the best in the league at the moment in the levels he's been performing at. So, like,
but there are no other Jesuses around. This is what I mean. And this is like, Luke, this is not aimed at you, Luke. This is not aimed at you. But it's aimed at all the YouTubers and all the Twitter followers and whatever who was cussing, saying, you know, top four is gone, title's gone, this, that, and the other, because Jesus. We're not a one-man team. No. We were never a one-man team. And if everybody wanted to buy strikers and all the rest of it, yeah? Whatever striker you're going to buy, you ain't buying a next Jesus. And even if you could, it would be counterproductive because it means you don't have a plan B.
It's also if you got another Jesus, he's going to want to play every single game.
He's going to want to play.
Like Jesus. Jesus is on his time now, right?
And what happens if you have all the same players? You become one-dimensional.
It's true. Yeah. To be honest, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I hear what you're saying, and there's a different option with Eddie Nketiah in terms of he will give you the essentials of what Jesus will give you, but then what Jesus does is that little bit of stardust where he can create a chance out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas he can create a chance out of nothing, but give
Eddie that chance,
the same amount of chances. Eddie scoring more. It's that
simple. Yeah, he's banging them in.
Real gun, man. Remember, there was talk about is Jesus a winger and stuff when he was at Man City.
Yeah,
and that's because he's a brilliant all-round footballer.
Yeah.
Whereas Eddie
is a centre forward.
But yeah,
he's a centre forward centre forward.
And you've known that for
striker.
Every time you watch him. When he made his debut, number 62 at the back, Norwich, bang, 2 goals, Arsenal through. So, but that's Eddie. We need to talk about some more key performances.
Just one more thing on that. Yeah. The run of games is going to be so important. In a weird way, Jesus' injury is going to benefit us because he apparently he's not going to be out that long. He's going to be back at sort of end of February. I thought it was going to be like March, April. This run of games, Eddie's going to frighten some people. He's going to mark my words. By the end of this run of games, teams are going to be might not Arsenal fans, but teams are going to be as equally as scared of Eddie Nketiah as they are of Jesus for different reasons, but they're going to be scared of him.
There you go. The question is now, and what Arteta will be pushing in terms of Eddie is what you're saying there, what you believe in. Let's see how the man does over a period of games now, because this is the level he set. This is Eddie. You've set this bar. I can't see you dropping back to Eddie when he was coming on as a substitute, and not get like last season. I'm saying like when he was coming on,
and he's not that kind of player. He's not an impact striker.
I don't want to see that fluctuation because that's when Arsenal fans will get, well, we just need Eddie. Like that's when the focus will be back on him. Even if you're not scoring goals, look how Arsenal fans appreciate you. Have a look at Jesus. You don't need to score goals you just need to keep doing what the basics that you're doing in helping the team function, getting the best out of and being consistent at that level. I don't even want you to score in every single game. I just want you to do what you were doing in the first half every single game. And
he does that. He does that even when it's not going right. He's like Odegaard like that. Even when it's not going right, he never gives up. Exactly. Even if he's having a bad game, he never stops chasing down. He never stops running. All those kind of things. People have said, "Oh yeah, his body language and whatever," but no. Watch that man over all of his games, and it gives you effort.
Let's move on now to this absolutely outstanding. This football
crap. Get rid of him. I don't know why we bought him. He's worthless. He weren't worth the 30 million. I can't believe we paid. Well, I know how much we paid. 35 million for him.
35 million. Yeah. Absolute phenomenal magician with the football, and man, them like this man, right from the very first whistle in this game, you could see he was on it. You can kind of tell when Odegaard is going to be at his full flow best.
Leader.
He touches, he's like coming off, and there were some passes, bro. Did you see that pass he tried to make for Xhaka? And if brother, if he's I'm sorry, yeah.
Oh,
this is it.
His feet. That first half, his feet, the way he glided.
He was on it from then, and this is why this guy is special. But even when he doesn't, this is what I'm saying. The thing I'm challenging Eddie to do now as an Arsenal fan. This is what Odegaard does every game. When he's not at his best, do you see how he's pressing and how he's winning the ball back and how he's leading the team and he's not hiding. Even when the moments get difficult, he's still there, and and what I feel like he's improved since when he first came at Arsenal is his upper body strength.
Yeah,
when he's getting his man coming at him and trying to tackle him and these things and trying to lean on him a little bit. He's much more resistant to it now, and he's able to keep his balance, play those little flicks around the corner like he can do, the little flicks over.
Yeah,
he's able to do that under pressure. I think a bit better now, but those are some key points. What about you, bro?
I don't know if they still do it, but what they used to do at Arsenal, right? To gain upper body strength, they used to do it with the kids. They had a surfboard on springs, and they would chuck balls into you, so you had to touch them off. And as you're doing it, man is jumping into you from the side. So you got to keep your balance. They still do it right.
They do it like a ball. It's like a it looks like a like you know one of them yoga balls, but they're you have to have like one leg off it and that you get little touches.
Right. Right. Now I remember when Wenger brought that in the first time, people was like, "What the Ross is this? Is mad." That's kind of that's the thing. But Odegaard, oh my God, and that should be his name because my boy ran things yesterday, and I really think that when he's having a bad game, that's when he shows up more. Like if he's having a good game, he would just do his thing and let everybody around him do their thing. But when he's having a bad game, you kind of notice him more because he's running more. He's like you said, he's pressing. He's in that left back spot. He's in the right back spot. He's all over the place. Whereas yesterday he didn't need to do that as much, but he was just he was orchestrating. I mean, I rewatched the first half today. I'm going to rewatch the second half again later. But it was ridiculous. And some of the passes he was trying, they were Messi-esque.
Yeah, the ones
right. And to be honest, I don't think Xhaka even expected it as to be there. Because he was like, you can't get that pass.
I'm making a run. Yeah. I'll be there for the rebound. But
you ain't hit me with that pass. And because you see him go, rah, you did it. I should have been there. Jack kind of went, I should have been there. I didn't really expect that. The weight of that. And even to the point where, for Saka's goal, I'm starting to doubt if that actually was a shot. I'm starting to doubt. I don't know, I don't know,
Respect, though. You see, because of how good he was playing, that I did it as well. I went, you know what? When I'm looking at the first replay, I'm like, thank you. Maybe, but then afterwards, when I see
it was a shot. I'm sure it was.
I'm like,
I'm sure it was, But you know what I mean?
You got because he's a magician.
If you turn around, put it this way, if you come on telly and turn around now, I meant that, I'd have gone, all right, no, I get that one.
Different,
yeah.
He does because he's definitely got that pass in his locker. We know that. And he never met that one, but he can do it. We've seen
He was doing it all the time. He did it for Eddie. He did it like for the Xhaka one, and there was a couple that that Declan Rice have to rate me at a good game. Who he cut out, you know what I mean? But Saka buoyed him a couple of times. There was a good ding dong battle between them. But Odegaard was just. The only time that was his best 90 minutes in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw that, remember when we were 3-0 down to West Ham?
Yeah.
And he
yes. Right. Excellent point. Excellent point.
Yeah, we were 3-0 down to West Ham. Back in lockdown, and they did the camera on him, and you saw my boy just go, you know what? If you're not going to do it, let me take this game. Let me control this game.
Well, you passed the baton on perfectly to me here. Yeah, this is like Jamaica in a relay back in 2012. Literally, Odegaard, man. This is why don't people understand it? Why is he a captain? The brother's hiding it. I ain't seen Odegaard do this or that. Bro, give the man a chance and he will take over the game. We saw it against West Ham. We saw it against Fulham. We saw it against West Ham as a brilliant example. There's 3 off the top of my head, right? And he does have the cojones. He does have the character to do that. He's not an Ozil, as I say. And I hate to pick on him because it's the natural comparison you're going to make with the most creative player. But Ozil, when it was going tough, he's not there. We know it. Home or away. When it was going great, the brother was the best. Like Odegaard, he can't make those Ozil passes, but he's not far off of it because that's how
he'll get there. He'll get there. Yeah, like Ozil was just next level. But in terms of Odegaard, people may talk about him when it's all said and done as higher because he can do it much more. And he'll give you and all the time, and he shows up more in the tough games than he does in the games where everything's going well. Real Madrid must be screwing. Must be cussing. Somebody got taken out the back in Real Madrid and got beat up. They got a rubber hose and got beat up for letting Odegaard go.
But this is it though. He was only ever going to do what he's doing now if he was given consistent game time and able to develop. Because the problem what Odegaard had in his career, he made that move way too early. He went to Real Madrid, where when you're 16, when you're even at 20, right, let alone 16, all you need to do is play games, keep playing consistently. Got to have your bad games. You're going to need them because those bad games will then teach you to. You'll be able to learn from them and how to deal with those situations. Whereas when he was at Real Madrid, if it's not going well for you straight away, you know you're not getting a game right.
But you can't do that at Real Madrid and Barcelona and you know them kind of clubs. You can't
unless you're a massive signing in terms of hundreds of millions or 80.
But even then, even then, I'm not sure because they've had players that have done that and just they can't get in the side.
But it's one of them ones because at the point in his career he was never going to have that opportunity though because Modric, Cruz, and Casemiro, no one's breaking into that.
Right? Exactly.
Unless you're Messi.
But this is what I'm saying to you. You just said unless you're Messi, there was no way he was breaking into that side, no matter how good he was, because they weren't going to trust someone who hadn't been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, wrote the screenplay.
And that's what he needed. He lacked that throughout his career. And this is where when Arsenal fans are having a go at him when he's not having a great game, I don't have a go at him in that sense. I remember there's been plenty of debates. I mean, first game of the season, it was by far his best game. But what I was praising him for, and what I'm trying to tell other fans when they're getting mad at him, is the brother, he's still there on the pitch and he still has his presence known. Just because he's not shouting, finger pointing, throwing all the arms up in the air, doesn't mean that you're not a leader. And that's why Martin Odegaard, for me, this guy gets better and better. And what's the thing that we challenged him as Arsenal fans as well? To score more goals. Moss was even saying it there. And now that the guy is scoring more goals,
who's our top goal scorer?
There you go. See, come on.
He's not joint. He's our top goal scorer.
I saw him and Martinelli. I got 6, I think. So
it might have been actually no. Martinelli's caught up with him after yesterday because going into yesterday's game, he was top goal scorer.
So there you go. Do you know what I mean?
I still wanted to shoot more though because there was one time where he'd rolled 3 man and it was on his left foot and I was thinking lash it, but he put it out to Martinelli.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a guy without shooting and he's 23, still 23, 24, bro.
He's the new Arsenal. He's the new Arsenal. He typifies this new Arsenal team.
Exactly. Is there anyone else that you want to speak about individually that you want to point out?
I have to go.
Saka. I know. Go. Speak about my boy.
Saka. Either one of them three men could have got man of the match. The two men we previously spoke about, and Bukayo Saka. Cresswell is in traction right now. He went straight to hospital and they put him in traction because Saka twists up him back, him foot, him side, everything. Declan Rice wanted to chuck it. He was like, "Get off! Well, you get off again." The boy. Every time I think, nah, he can't get it better than him. But he just have a Saka game. He goes, no, you know what? I can do a little bit more. I can raise a little bit more. People are so afraid of him. And when I see, not before I score my back. Yeah. When I see every team, I can't remember the last time that when a winger has the ball, man run over to help out the left or right back or wherever they're. Because every time that I think it was Cresswell that was on their left back, yeah, man was breaking their neck to get over to cover him.
Rice, Nketiah,
everybody. I'm surprised Moyes didn't come on at one point. You know what I mean? And it is truly a testament to him. And now he knows he's not getting any protection from refs. So he's riding tackles now, leaving man going, yeah, okay, come, and putting and leaving a bit on a man now. He's learning that. The brother was outstanding, immense. If it weren't for the fact that the defender got a little clip on the ball that knocked it on his heel, that would have been 2 goals.
And then Eddie again.
Eddie with a little back hole.
Carry on. Sorry.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying to you. Remember, they've played together since they were. Eddie came when he was about 12, 13. Yeah, when he got let out. Chelsea. Yeah. They play. What? So you're talking about 10 years. These men have been playing together in and out, living out of each other's pockets. They're brethren. And Saka is spurring him on. And I hate him because he's so nice. He's so humble. He's so polite. Yeah. That picture of him and Wenger. Oh, please.
Exactly. Beautiful. And
I have to say there was one other man that I'm going to give a quick mention to. Benjamin White.
Why you take him up, bro?
Sorry, I'm getting in there before.
I said what?
No, I don't care. I said it. I said it.
Yo, said it. You know what? You passing the baton on to me again, okay? Yo, how much about? All right.
You know what I mean? Just underline it, yeah.
About it. Oh, the goal was ruled out, still 2-0. But big up yourself, Matt G. But yeah, so Ben, one thing on Saka before I move on, Benjamin White, is he's the best part of him is his consistency, man. It's crazy how we can do this at a high level. How many times, Wilf, have we watched wingers and we say, you know what? Wingers are probably the most inconsistent players on a football pitch because one moment they're brilliant and one moment, you know, they can be a little bit anonymous. Never that with Saka. He's never anonymous. So yeah.
No, what's improved on his game? His defensive.
Yeah,
he's upped his defensive side. Because I remember you and I remember Harry pointing out his defensive frailties last season.
Yeah. And
they seem to Arteta's worked on that.
Exactly that. Exactly. It's so true. And finishing as well. I think he's improved. Even throughout this season, man, his finishing's improved. But Benjamin White. You talk about Saka moving the needle, bro, each and every time. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And the best part about it was in that Arteta interview with Jamie Carragher, this was always the plan. This was always
I know.
We us mere mortals here, me and you, Will, we're thinking, because of Tommy Assey's injury, innit? We're thinking, Tommy Assey's injured. Ben White, he's very good. He'll be out there. But when Tommy Assey's back and when Tommy Assey's fit and firing, Ben White, we know he's a fighter, but he might move back into that position. And people were talking about, Why are we signing Ben White when we got Saliba and we're sending Saliba out loan for Ben? That's not the reason why we signed Ben White.
Why was we going after Martinez?
Exactly. There you go. Because Ben White, right, is that guy. The technical ability he shows, the power in his runs, is the intelligence defensively and going forward. He made a big interception when Saliba was being shaken.
Yes.
Right at the start, comes across. He's like, I've got you. Everyone, another thing, it makes me angry. Sorry, we feel like we're getting a lot of vengeance coming off. Because everyone always says it's Saliba covers Ben White. Do you watch football, bro?
Football.
Have you ever
they cover each other.
They cover exactly.
They cover each other.
No, when I was playing big skipper and that, and I was scoring goals from centre back, and I was one of the better players on the team. I still had to get my left back and my other centre back to cover me because I'm not perfect. All right,
you can't be everywhere.
Yeah,
Cruyff turn.
The Cruyff turns exactly
from Benjamin White. Do you remember the ball that Saka gave to him, and he sat the brother down on his bottom?
Yes, exactly.
And just left him. This went, see ya. Yeah, you go over there and sit down. I'm gonna see where I'm gonna put this ball.
For real, bro. It's so true, and that's where he's so good at that. And that Eddie goal. Was it Eddie? Was it whose goal was it? Was it Eddie's or Martinelli's? It might have been Eddie's. Well, no, it's Eddie's.
It was Martinelli. Yes, it was Eddie's. Where he he let the guy run past him and just a little thing. That's a right back. Who's not a right back? Who's a centre back? Exactly.
It's true. Benjamin White and the consistency in his levels. We talk about consistency. My word, man, this guy. I'm sorry. He's a 50 million's a bargain at the level he's doing.
Oh, we ripped Brighton off. We ripped them off. And you know the thing that bugs me even more and I love? He's so good looking. He's just cool as hell. He's just cool. When I look at him, I'm like, exactly.
Big up my brother Brush each and every time. He was doing it for banter, but I was hearing Love Island Phil Jones and that. I'm like, come on. He's serious.
They wish they had him at Love Island. They wish they had him on Love Island.
Innit? But he's a serious guy. I don't always enjoy watching his interviews. I find them awkward. People enjoy it. I love
them. I absolutely love them.
As a baller, man, I'm sorry. I love watching him kick off football, and I love how
I just love his attitude. When you talk about his interviews, and I remember we had this conversation from that one. I can't wait for his next one. I want someone to interview him again. I love him. He's got that arrogance. I love this. Look. I know I'm good. You lot know I'm good. So we don't need to talk about it, do we?
And I don't even care about football. That's what he's
like. I know, I love that. I don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. None of my family watch it.
He's joke, man. Benjamin White. Any other honourable mentions that we can talk about briefly, and then we'll talk about more?
Quickly, Aaron Ramsdale.
Oh, yeah.
He made a couple of good saves. Where it's always the test of a good keeper when you haven't had much to do, and when you're called upon, you make them saves. Yeah, that especially that world-class one right at the end, where over his 4.5.
Definitely. And then also what I was add to that is when he made those saves, his distribution was very good and started a couple of
the one for where Eddie should have come back on his left.
Yeah. When he rolled out to Xhaka and Xhaka played through Eddie.
Yeah. How are you? I can't remember ever seeing him for goalkeeper doing that, right? Between two brothers, he's rolling it out that he could get cut out. And he rolls it straight to I'm not gonna lie, my nuts went up to my throat when he did that. And he's doing that. Oh,
yeah, proper man, serious. That's what.
How old is he? And how old is he?
How old is Ramsdale? 24 something. Yeah.
He ain't even close to his peak yet.
Exactly that. It's true.
Another bargain. How much? 35 mil. Who's that little hand in there?
He's
hello, mate. Hello, Drew. How you doing? You right?
How you doing? Did you? Who won yesterday? Come on, who won? Come on,
Arsenal.
Ah,
go. We just talked about Aaron Ramsdale. Did you want to say anything about anyone?
Saka's the best at Arsenal, I think.
You are correct.
out of the mouth of babes. Out of the mouth of babes, man.
Exactly. But now you are right, my bro, Wolf. Aaron Ramsdale, he's good, man. And his distribution and his alertness and his awareness is massive. And that's the kind of goalkeeper we need. Because there's probably better shot stoppers out there when they're getting shots rained on them week in, week out.
No, not many. Not many.
No, not many. But, like shot stopping ability, I think most key goalkeepers are around the same anyway. But
yeah, and they need to. That's your standard. You want that's your starter for 10.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. So yeah, who else was I going to say honorable mention? Martinelli, of course, he was very good, and I like the fact what he does in Martinelli in that he's very versatile on that left hand side. He can play on the inside forward, and he's very good at getting chalk on his boots. And you know what? That goal was massive.
Clever. So clever.
You know this. You get taught this, and you probably teach this yourself. That little shift.
Jelly leg, the left back.
Exactly. Take it from right to your left on that side. You're laughing, and that makes it difficult.
Good.
That's the Van Persie-esque finish in that position.
Right. Sorry. If you watch that game again, the fact of him jelly legging the left back meant that the left back couldn't stretch his leg out. You know, when he's gone inside the goalkeeper. Yeah. You know, as a defender, he's taking a shot. You're going to stretch to try and block it, but because he jelly legged him, he's off balance, so he can't get the weight to stretch that leg. Yeah. You know what I mean? You see him watch it again. You see him try to, but he knows it's gone. And when you see it from Fabianski's view, he was always going near post. Yeah, he was always. And I thought when watching it live, I thought he's going across. He's going across the centre because I saw Saka in there in the 6-yard box. I'm thinking, he's drilling that across. But when you see him face on, you go, nah, he's going. And he didn't have a great first half.
No, he wasn't.
By his standards.
Yeah, exactly. And you also saw, you can tell that's definitely something that's worked on in training because Saka did it with a cross on the right side against Cresswell, dragged it from his left to his right, and got the cross across the box. And I think Ali McCoy was talking about it as well on Prime Video. See, this is why sometimes I like watching the game and hearing the commentary because I'm thinking, I agree with that. When it's
Ali was purring. Ali was I love Ali. I loved him as a player, as a striker, and I love him as a pundit.
Exactly. This is my nephew typing here. So by the way,
I figured.
All I wanted to ask you before we wrap up is Mykhailo Mudryk. So we have the talk is that we've had our first bid rejected, but Arsenal still very confident of getting this wrapped up in for January. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sure we've all been our YouTube scouts as Arsenal fans, watching the clips and watching.
I want him.
Exactly.
I want him.
What's your thoughts on Mudryk? Where do you see him fitting in this team? And so there's the third one for the hat trick. Is there anyone else that you want as well?
Right. First off, the fact that we put in a bid to start with means we're serious, and you always lowball. No, nobody. If you go to buy a house, you're not getting the asking price. You drop it in because you're prepared to pay the asking price. Otherwise, you wouldn't look to their yard. Yeah. We're lowballing just to see what the feelers are. If they look like they go, nah, we're not. Then you don't have to go that high. He wants to come. We want him. See ya. Okay. That's all right. No, don't apologize. Don't apologize, boy. Arteta wants him, and Arteta sees. Remember, we was talking about what Arteta sees, and what we don't. Arteta sees and this he gets from Wenger, he sees players in multiple positions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Modric, having watched him for Shakhtar Donetsk and the Champions League and Europa League or whatever it is, the brother can play anywhere across the front three.
Mm.
I think he's right-footed.
Yeah, he is.
So he plays Martinelli's role and cuts in inverted. He's got a good left foot on him, so he can be cover for Saka. Yeah, he can be cover for Saka. He can be cover for Martinelli. He can be an impact sub. Yeah, because you imagine that pace coming on at 70, 75 minutes, 80 minutes where you're knackered and this brother is just roasting you. Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I don't see him get starting.
No.
But I see him challenging.
Exactly.
He's gonna be challenged. He's coming to take someone's place. Whether it's Saka or whether it's Martinelli or whoever it is, he's coming to take someone's place. Whether he's justified in that or not, in his mind, he's like, I'm coming for a first team spot.
Spot on, indeed. And just a couple comments before I drop my little 2 cents on Modric. Is Josh saying Pope is better? Talking about Nick Pope. You can't chat to him, man. He's got the best defense in the league at the moment.
Somebody's drunk. Somebody's.
But
he's been Nuki Brown, boy. He's drinking a couple of Nuki Browns too much.
He has caveated. He said, but he's in his prime. Pope is, and Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Quite a bit off of it, really.
But there's a reason. There's a reason why we're both teams are sitting where they are. Exactly. It's because we've got keepers that we can rely on.
Exactly that. And Messi, Miguel Almiron is better. Hey, I once again can't chat to that brother right now. He's a joke.
Eddie Howe, give him his respect. Repurposed Joe Linton and got the best out of Almiron.
Exactly. Big up Scotty as well from down under. Hope you're keeping good, my bro. I ain't spoke to you in a while, but hope you're keeping blessed either way. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas down under. It's a summer for them, man. So
yeah, I know.
Yo, I need to.
Whereabouts is he? Australia?
Yeah, is it Australian? It is
New
Australia.
Zealand.
Right. Or is it, if it's New
Zealand? Let us know in the chat whereabouts in Australia, because I spent some time over there. It was wicked.
Big up my brother right there. But yeah, Modric. One thing I need to point out is Arteta has. I think there's been already talk about Arteta sees him playing across different roles. So excellent point there from you, Wilf. And then, bro, think about it as well. That speed he has kills. I can't wait if we do get him. But could you imagine, right? Imagine opposition teams now going right. So they've got Saka on one side and they've got Martinelli on the other. They're bringing a man in who's potentially quicker than Martinelli, potentially quicker than Saka, right.
And they're going to be bringing him on from 60 minutes onwards, when my legs is burning from chasing down them men.
For real, it's crazy. And then, bro, also wanted to ask you as well, just before we wrap up, a certain João Felix. He's been linked. Man United are serious about him. Sorry, that's my nephew playing with the sounds. But yeah, João Felix. This is the dream for me, right? This is, guys in the chat, I want to hear your thoughts. We've got Man United fans in here, and you're hoping to get a João Felix as well. And I know, especially after Gakpo's gone and left you, but João Felix, he's the dream. Imagine him as well, because the only issue that I'd say, about Arsenal right now is the depth in attack. I know Arteta said it as well. The firepower.
He's always wanted firepower. He's made that abundantly clear.
And you're talking about, bro, is João Felix, who's a chief creator. He's more of he's a definite false nine as well, and he can play across the whole front three.
Yeah,
and him linking up with Odegaard, nice little one-touch passes, and
I actually think, right, and bear in mind, I'm not sold on João Felix.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, no. Listen to what I'm going to say, though. I'm not sold on João Felix. But there comes a time where sometimes right place, right time, right player. Mm-hmm. I think he will fit our system better than any team I can think of right now. And you know the potential that everybody sees in him. I think if he comes to us on loan with the mindset of, if they don't take me, I still need to put myself in the shop window, he will tear it up for us. And it's a chance for him to get to see what the Premier League's like, see if he can handle it. He's under one of the best young coaches in, I'd say, world football at the moment. And this is not me saying it. This is the players who've played under him, Sterling's and everybody, Jesus and the like. He's not shown what he's capable because he's playing under Simeone. Yeah. Simeone, he might as well play under Conte in that respect. You know what I mean? Because that's not going to get the best out of someone, an inexperienced forward like that. I think he will come to us. Yeah. If he's smart, he will, and keep his options open. And I think Man United would be the wrong move for him. Not that, you know, Man United aren't. You have to admit they're on the up and all the rest of it. But our football would suit him better. Would release him more.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree, my bro. And that's where I think if he comes on loan, it's an Odegaard 2.0 as well. In that sense, he'll come on loan. There might not be a buy option. He'll fall in love. He'll make his mind up where he'll really want to go, and there'll be plenty of clubs after him, like plenty of clubs were after Odegaard as well. But you know, he knew where he was.
He might even stay at us. That's what happened with Odegaard. Odegaard came into us on loan. And loved it.
And that's it. And with the Champions League next season, we should get in there.
What do you mean should? No, we will.
Yeah. With the we're gonna need depth across. Like, we're gonna need players like that. If you want to be Man City, if you want to compete on every level, you're gonna need to have world-class players sitting on your bench at points as well. And taking up spots and challenging Jesus and really challenging Saka and whatnot. And this guy, as a technical player, bro, technical ability. He's one of the best out there with what he can do with a football. It's a joke, man. And
Portuguese, isn't it? Portuguese. It's like the Spanish or the Brazilians or the Argentinians. I mean, this you touch on it. This talk of if we get top four, the level of capitulation that we would have would be unprecedented in the history of football. Nobody from. I was watching one of the YouTubes, and they worked it out. It would take a 28-point swing for us to not make top four. Yeah, I worked it out myself. We would have to lose every game against 2 games Man City, 2 games Newcastle, 1 Liverpool, 1 Man United, 1 Chelsea, 1 Spurs. We would have to lose all those games, and Spurs, Chelsea, Man United, and Liverpool would have to go on a mad run, which is impossible because it means that they couldn't drop any points.
Exactly. Yeah, bearing in mind, we've got the best home form in the league as well.
Right, we're currently the best statistically. We're currently the best, and stylistically, we're the best team in the country at the moment. These players aren't crap. If they were crap, we would not be sitting. If they were crap, they would not have had the best start in Arsenal's football history.
Exactly.
In the whole time, from the time first Arsenal kicked ball from Woolwich Arsenal to this one, that don't happen. Teams don't collapse like that.
For real. There you go. So top four done. Yeah, top four is done. Yeah. The Premier League title. Have to wait and see. But people, what was you
one more thing. I am seriously looking forward to that Newcastle Arsenal game. That's going to be one of the games of the season.
Serious. The football ball teams play at the intensity. I just pray we don't get no injuries before that.
No.
So we can have and
I
as well.
I hope they do. I hope Isak don't come back and Callum Wilson snaps a toenail Not long. Just keep him out for that game. But what odds would you have got at the beginning of the season, before the season start, that Arsenal Newcastle, and it's at Newcastle, right?
Nah, Emirates.
Oh, it's Emirates.
Yeah.
But
I'd be confident, but a little bit more worried.
yeah. But who would have thought that the Toon Army and Arsenal would have been one of the games of the season going into the season, and the top two. Exactly
that. It's exciting. But people, we are going to wrap it up here because I need the toilet. First things foremost. But big up my brother Wilf each and every time for joining me, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
I'm so glad you're back, both on your channel anyway, and this Arsenal show. You can find me in the Discord. You'll always find me here on the Arsenal show. You'll find me in the chat or the Prem previews. I'm there.
He's there. People, thank you so much for tuning in, and it's great to be back. Back on the Arsenal show as well. First time in a long time since we last did the Arsenal show, which was after the Wolves game. Yeah, that was after the Wolves game we did that. But you guys are the best, and thank you for tuning in. And whenever you popped in, so we know there's a Man United game going on right now.
Yeah,
there is a big Man United contingent on the channel. So the fact that you've jumped in, popped in, say hello as well at any point really means a lot, people. Thank you for that. And
bless to everybody in the chat.
Exactly. Blessings to each and every one of you in the chat. The next time we'll be back will be for a Premier League preview show where I'm sure Ed will be bouncing after seeing Wolves win the first game with Lopetegui. And that will be before the new year. So just in case I don't catch any of you before that who's watching live or afterwards, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. That's happened already.
Yeah, it's happened already. Yeah.
A happy New Year. And with whatever goals or New Year's resolutions that you've got, I hope that you smash them, and I hope that you give everything your all, whatever you're doing, whatever your journey is. And join the Discord as well and share that across, because we know people like Josh. He says he's been busy. He's been working hard though. And if you want to see great quality food, Josh will send that in for you.
Oh yeah, I know.
Exactly. And Wilf, if you want great quality food as well, we need to see your food in, man, because this brother can cook. Yo, I'm hearing it. Moss told me about the food that you make for him. He loved it. He didn't stop talking about it even to this day. So yeah, man. Now big up yourself, each and every one of you. I'm gonna love you and leave you. God bless and peace. As I find the outro.